Hi everyone, and welcome to My Ignite Talk. My name is Derek Rodenizer, and we're going to talk reflection. Throughout this presentation, you're going to see lots of pictures, fantastic, awesome pictures taken by my friend, Mark LeBeau. And he takes great shots, just like this one. So in my time, reflection has been the thing that has changed the most for me. It is what has shaped me the most as an educator, and I want to share my story a little bit with you. So it all started off in a really small school, a space that was great, but totally isolated. In fact, I was the middle school. There was no one else around me. And what I was looking for was the ocean of knowledge that just wasn't present in my environment. I felt like even though I had a nice little oasis, there was an ocean out there, and I wanted to be able to find it. So in my early years as a teacher, that isolation was stifling. And once I got past my initial fear, I just wasn't sure where to go. I knew other people had these things around them, but there I was in the middle of a desert. I was solo, and what I knew could be out there, or maybe even once was, is no longer there. And for me, what was a huge trigger and a huge support was Twitter. Twitter created this ocean of information that had not previously existed, and while overwhelming at times, it was something that really brought a lot to my education and allowed me to see what was going on. It was the door that opened that realized for me that I had to take the jump. I had to take the jump, and I had to reflect more regularly. The box at the bottom of my lesson plans wasn't enough. I had to reflect out there and out there into the world. There must be a way to do that. And what I saw people doing was blogging. So that's what I did. I blogged, and I had a webpage, and I blogged, and let me tell you, it wasn't very good. Blogging wasn't really my thing, writing not really my thing. And when I took that jump, what I really realized is there's a lot more jumps to take. So many more jumps you need to take, and they're in sequence and in succession, one after the other. This was a really sort of comforting realization that I can keep doing it and keep pushing it and keep going. So the next big jump for me was my podcast. My podcast was basic. Had a set of headphones and my computer, and off I went, and I brought people in, and I started to have these regular scheduled conversations once a week with educators from all over the world, and I learned so much. The jump continued when Voice Ed Radio, a fantastic radio network, and Stephen Hurley got me involved, and we had this huge network of all sorts of people connecting. And what I discovered was that I had a PLN, my professional learning network, and it had grown. I had this gigantic, massive PLN of all sorts of people that I knew, some a lot, some a little, and it was a great opportunity for me to see what was out there. The next realization I made was, while that was wonderful and important, my Power PLN, the select people who I have a chance to have regular, deep conversations with, brought tons to me. They were the people that allowed so much more depth to happen. Not just learning what's going on, but going into a lot more depth. And so that reflection publicly allowed those people, my Power PLN, my PLN, to reach out to me, to ask me questions, to wonder why I'm doing that, to think about the next thing. And that pushed me and continued more. How can I reflect more, and how can I have more happen? Well, Mad PD. So Peter Cameron and I got together, and Mad PD is a conference that happens with hundreds of people all over the world that share what makes a difference in their life and education. So for me, it's all been about change. We start with one thing and we can convert it to the next. We need to be aware that if we put things out there, then that is where the change will happen. Doing all this public reflection has allowed me to create deep thinking, has allowed me to push new learning, and allowed me to think of things in a different way. Education is, without doubt, in constant change. There's always one thing shifting and moving and becoming something else. We have to be constantly looking and thinking and reflecting, and what we need to do is publicly. If we're just doing that at the bottom of our lesson plans, we're not extending and pushing ourselves as much as we can. When you look in the mirror, what is it that you see? What is it out there? What is it that you want to push, that you want to expand, that you want to have more? Let's reflect, let's tell the world, let's be awesome and epic.